I also want to talk about Israel claims that they have a date to go into Rafah. Benjamin Netanyahu claimed that they have had a date set for an operation into Rafah, and Anthony Blinken has refuted those claims. Absurd. How crazy is that? Our own leader is refuting claims from another leader on his own war and his own military objectives. This is not the United States' war. We don't have a right to say what Benjamin Netanyahu is saying is true or not. Oh, that's not true. They don't have a date set. How do you know? And even if you did know, who are you to refute your allies' claims? This is not our war. Who are we? Who is Anthony Blinken to say stuff like that? How is he, one, how does he know? And two, even if he did know the truth and that they're lying, this is not our war. This is not our place to say that. Blinken and the Biden administration, I've said this many times, I'll say it again, they need to get out of the way and let Israel do what it needs to do. Stop working overtime to try and win back your voters and let Israel defeat Hamas. You claim Israel is your ally, yet you're being a speed bump for them because of your own political motives. And Rafah is the last piece of the puzzle for Israel to defeat Hamas. They need to be allowed to do that from its biggest ally, and really its only ally now. So Anthony Blinken needs to shut his mouth, stop talking about other countries' wars, and not only other countries' wars, our allies' wars. We like to hijack other conflicts and make it our own. Look what we're doing in Ukraine, and we're starting to do it here in the Middle East with Israel. Who are we to tell Israel what to do? And thankfully, it appears that Israel's not listening to the United States and going ahead with its military objectives to do what it needs to do to protect its own country and its own citizens. Wish Ukraine would do that. They're not. But the United States loves to just hijack these conflicts, mainly when the left is in office. There was no issues of that when Trump was in office, mainly because there was no conflicts being started. I talked about that earlier. But we like to hijack these conflicts and tell them what to do. And we need to stop doing that. That's why I talked about earlier of the United States likes to dominate everything globally, and you don't get peace through that. And the United States doesn't thrive when that happens. The United States continually being involved in conflicts around the world does not promote. The United States doesn't thrive in that scenario. When we're constantly inputting ourselves in conflicts around the world, the United States doesn't thrive in that scenario. Not only our economy, but just as a whole. It's not good to be involved in conflicts, but we appear to be obsessed with that. So we need to let Israel do what it needs to do to defeat Hamas, because that threat is on our allies' border, and not just Hamas, but they also have threats from Iran and Hezbollah. So we need to let them do what they need to do. Get out of the way. Stop meddling yourselves in other conflicts, especially our allies' conflicts. Let them do what you need to do. And, if we start doing that globally, then we will have peace globally and we will thrive as a nation. Stop hijacking other conflicts and trying to dominate the conflict and get your own interest out of it, and let your ally do what it needs to do. So let's hope that Israel moves forward with this Rafah operation. I think that they will. I don't think there's any scenario that they don't, because they know that's what they need to do, with or without the U.S.'s support. So if they need to do that, like they say they need to, and that's the last box that needs to be checked to defeat Hamas, then go do it. And then move on to Hezbollah, which is a much bigger threat, and that threat needs to be addressed sooner or later. And hopefully the United States can continue to back its ally, and instead of trying to constantly be a speed bump for them for its own political motives, trying to get back its young anti-Semitic vote, which is what the Biden administration is doing. Political motives and war, especially when it's not your own war, is one, ridiculous, two, dangerous, and it's just idiotic, and it's just not a good thing to do. Hopefully the Biden administration will come to their senses and start to support Israel, and not even just support Israel, just let go and let Israel do what it needs to do, instead of being control freaks like they are in Ukraine too. And if God forbid China does invade Taiwan, what will happen in Taiwan? So let's hope that doesn't happen, and let's hope that Israel will go ahead and with this operation into Rafah to defeat Hamas. I believe that they will.